Alright gang, I picked this up the other day. It's a Hubley cattle truck. Now, I always commented, I shouldn't say always, but in several videos I would talk about the county over, they had a bunch of antique stores. Well, one of the main buildings was bought out, so they're closing. This was in that building in a booth for months, and they wanted $20 for it. Well, going online, I saw them online for, you know, the truck alone for like around $10, and probably, you know, another 8 to 10 to ship it. So, and I really didn't want it, but when I saw the cab, that's a COE Ford cab. There's a story about these kind of cabs too I need to tell you about, and I think I will in a moment if I don't forget, because I like to ramble. So I go back to pick up, well, not to pick up, just to kill some time, and my favorite store, luckily the owners of it, they have another on the same street. They have a second antique store, and a lot of their vendors are taking booths in that store, but this guy wasn't. He was moving to a whole another city, you know, about 20 miles away. I got this and 2 more items for $10. I should have kept the tag. I threw he had a tag wrapped around it, and I threw the tag away. But, you know, usually they'll pull the tags off because it's got the dealer booth and all that. They just wrote it down on a piece of paper and just handed it to me. Now this isn't perfect, but we'll look at a tractor first. It's a Hubley, and it's made after a Ford. Now, it's easy to say that this is a 60s era Ford cab. You see the tanks. But there's something about this cab that I learned years ago that I thought was very interesting. Alright, so sorry about that little break there. I had to do something. Not what you think. So this cab, Ford made these in the 60s and into the early 70s. I don't know when they discontinued this cab and went to something else, but at one time, if you was on the road, and I'm making these estimates up because I don't recall, but you would see, if you saw like a Roadway or a Conway truck or TNT Holland or any of them, Saya, if it's a day cab, it would be this truck here, this cab right here in most cases. You can watch old Rockford File shows and you'll see these cabs. Old Chips TV shows, you'll see these cabs. Now the interesting thing about this cab that I learned, and I learned it off the news, and I hate watching the news, but this was years ago, and it was a local news channel, and I forgot where I was at. I was in Georgia, but I don't remember where. But it was big news that this little community got a new fire truck. It was in the 80s, like 87 or something like that. Because I already graduated high school, so it was after 86. So they ordered a brand new fire truck, and it had this cab on it. Well, I asked them, how is that a brand new truck with a 60s era cab? Well, apparently, is it called? I think it's called American La France. Is the biggest fire truck at the time. I don't know how many fire truck manufacturers there are, but they had purchased so many of these cabs, and then Ford, when they went to discontinue these, they did fire sales because they had so many parts they weren't going to throw them away. That fire truck companies and all that, or fire truck manufacturers and heavy equipment manufacturers, had these cabs sitting on chassis in storage lots all over the place. So they would have a 60s era cab with current model emissions, because you know how that has changed everything, and they were still using them in the 80s. I thought that was really cool. Enough rambling. Let's look at the trailer. Alright, so I really love the trailer. Let me move the cab. The fifth wheel is missing, and I noticed that a lot of them online when I was looking at it on Google and then eBay, Etsy, that a lot of the fifth wheels are missing. Fortunately, the clips are not busted, because I noticed a lot of the clips were missing. But other than that, and the doors not staying tightly secured shut, and I don't know if it's all of them are that way. And I haven't even cleaned this thing up. It's in really good shape. Now, I don't know if it came with animals of any kind. I don't know if it came by itself, but the only pictures I found of it, if it was single, it was online for sale. But there was a Hubley, what did they call it? Mighty Mite Ranch, and it had this, a Jeep, a horse trailer with a horse. They did have some animals, but they were too big to go into the trailer, and a tractor with 2 attachments. But the cab in that one was a different color, which that doesn't mean anything. But this is a pretty cool little find. There's something else I think I'm right on. Again, I could be wrong. Tell me. Hubley has been around forever and a day. They're known for their castings. They've had like metal planes with folded, World War II planes that were the wings that folded up for the aircraft carriers. They made those. They've made castings forever and a day. They may be as old as Tootsie Toy, or even older. Because some of these manufacturers started from tool and die shops. Like I think, wasn't it Buddy L? They used to make rakes and shovels and stuff. Then they started making toys way back when, and that's how some of these things got started. But I think Hubley is now known as Gabriel, and Gabriel, and I don't know if Gabriel's still in existence or what, but Gabriel was the company that most kids my age would remember if they didn't have these kind of sets or didn't know the name by heart. If you had the Lone Ranger with Silver and Tonto with his horse, and there was the bad guy, I can't remember the bad guy's name. I think there was a bad guy. Yeah, there was a bad guy, wore all black. Gabriel Toys made those sets. I had a Lone Ranger. My brother had a Lone Ranger, but we didn't have a Tonto or a bad guy. Don't ask me. The Marks Knights, I had the silver, he had the gold. So we had different knights, but we both had Lone Rangers. And Lone Ranger, man, that was an awesome cartoon. And here we go. See how I'm starting to ramble again? Anyway, this is a great looking truck. Good detail. I've got a dump truck. I think I've done a video on the little dump truck I bought. Same cab. Just a little plastic dump bed. And I'm thinking that Gay Toys, I used to get them at the, who remembers Piggly Wigglies? When we go to South Georgia, we'd walk to the grocery store, and they'd always have this big old cardboard box full of plastic trucks, like dump trucks, cement trucks, whatever. And they were always around this size, and it was made by Gay Toys. And the ones I had, they had white centers that the black wheels popped onto. Then they changed it all to cheaper axles later. But I want to say they're the same size as this. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But folks, that's it. I just want to show you guys that cool looking truck. Love the color. And that's it for this one. I might run off another one on something else. We'll see how that works out. Have a great day.